I'm Gene Kohn. I'm chairman of Kohn Pedersen Fox Planners Architects in New York City. We're an international firm with offices in New York, London, smaller ones in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, and Seoul, Korea. Japan was the first place we worked in Asia, and a major cultural difference between U.S. clients and even European clients. And obviously the French and the Germans and the Dutch and the Brits are all a bit different than we are, but there's enough similarity due to the Western civilization that we seem to understand at least their culture and the way they operate. Going to Japan was totally new. This project was an office building, pure and simple, a headquarters. And it needed a team that really was expert in the office building. So we assigned a team that was basically mixed racially and was also male and female. Compared to other projects I've worked on, this project seemed to be constantly running into barriers. And in meetings that I did sit in, there seemed to be a lot of tension between the Japanese architects and our own. Our project manager, who was of color, seemed to be uncomfortable and seemed to get his back up. He didn't seem at ease and more stubborn than usual. But the Japanese also seemed stubborn and unwilling to accept certain things. And since they basically were the ones who brought us into this and were more senior because they had the contact with the client, I was just worried that, one, they could terminate our contract, because they could. They didn't seem to be cooperating with us, and we didn't seem to be getting along with them. And the Japanese, we'll call them professionals at this point, that we're working with, construction people, are not used to working with people of color, and apparently don't have the same respect for what they say as compared to a white architect or engineer. And the same seems to be true with women. They're uncomfortable. I would say it's not a matter of respecting, it's more discomfort with the women in the process of the women telling them or offering ideas to them. This would not occur in a Japanese firm. The women wouldn't play that role, so all of a sudden now they're being forced to deal with women that they've not had to before. And this was very uncomfortable. And so the question is, what do we do? We had a couple of alternatives. One, we could remove from the team the project manager, and there were more than one woman, but one woman who was actively meeting with them, and substitute basically white male architects. That more than likely would have solved the problem for the Japanese. Or we could have kept the team in place and fought through this project, trying to convince the Japanese this is the team, we're sticking by them, and we support our people because they're the best, and let happen what happens. Hopefully we convince them this is great and we work through the project. So that's the two choices we really had. Or we could just resign the project is the third. Obviously the decision was a tough one because we could either lose the project and a lot of fee, maybe hurt our reputation in Japan, or we could affect our morale. We could cause people in this firm to leave. So it was not an easy decision. So I decided we should have a partners meeting. We basically came up with a decision that it was more important for our future to support our people who we believed were terrific, but maybe work with them to make them understand what they were facing so they could possibly deal with it more effectively, but not to change. And to try to find ways to work with our associate architects that they would be more understanding as well. So it took diplomacy on that part, but we thought it would be a horrible mistake to remove from this team because somebody didn't like them because they were of color or of a different sex than the male, that we should take them off the job. We thought that would be just devastating to the morale of the firm and to those people who were outstanding. What we've learned is a bit of a problem. It's something that in this country we're trying to prevent. Look, we went through it here, so it's not. And I said it's a sensitive issue, but I'm going to be direct. And we were, and we told them what was happening, how they felt, and that they never said anything, but they were showing their discomfort. You know, it really was what they were showing. Their person, you know, it was the way they behaved. It wasn't what they used. They never said to me, get them off the job. They just behaved uncomfortably. So I said, we understand why. And we all have to make an effort to get them to see the beauty of your contributions, and that you're pretty terrific people, that you're equal to anybody else. And they have to become comfortable. And you're going to have to put a lot of work into this. And we're going to. And we're going to talk to them about reinforcing that we believe in this team. They are the best for it. We just have to find a good way to work together and communicate.